Well, hi, this is Just Be Well, the channel about whole life wellness. I'm Dr. Sult, a medical doctor and functional medicine practitioner.
I'm Elizabeth, a registered nurse and whole life coach.
And we have been talking about Rebalance to Heal, our limbic system reset program. Remember that the limbic system is this switchboard deep in your brain, and it really controls your immune system, your autonomic nervous system, your hormone system, your circadian rhythms, your mood, your emotions, really all of it. And all of those things are working against each other, with each other in harmony, hopefully, but when the limbic system is out of balance, they work kind of against each other. Being in fight or flight because of a physiological or an emotional response shunts blood away from your gut. 70% of your immune system lines your gut, so your gut becomes impaired and you don't digest or absorb well, but also your immune system goes offline. So it's all interrelated, and we're talking about this program. And this video series is actually how you can implement this yourself. So we do have a program, coaching program, but you don't have to have that. We're giving this to you. So we started 2 weeks ago. Well, we started several weeks ago just talking about it, but then 2 weeks ago we really got into the specifics. And the first specific was supplements.
Yep, step one is supplements. So there are 3 supplements to kind of start you off on the program that primes you for success.
Yeah, so when you're stuck in fight or flight, it's really hard to do anything other than just, be freaked out, right? So these supplements just soothe your limbic system, soothe your autonomic nervous system, support your adrenal glands, support healthy alpha wave function in your brain. And so what are those things?
So the first one we have is the Just Be Well, see if you can see it, Anacin.
Yeah, so ANS, autonomic nervous system serenity. And this is a whole bunch of Chinese herbs, basically. I mean, a whole bunch of unpronounceable words on the back that are all mushrooms and, wild jujuberry and dung quai and Chinese red sage and Chinese asparagus and all kinds of stuff, really designed from a Chinese perspective to be a soothing tonic that supports yin over yang. So most of us live in all yang all the time. So yang is sort of that driving force, and yin is kind of that soothing force. And most of us are overdriven. So that's what this is doing for us.
And that one for me, that I was a little bit nervous to start taking that one just because of all the different...
She likes to take things with only 5 ingredients.
Yeah. So there's a list of different herbs on the back, and I was just like, no, my body's not going to like that. So I really judged it. And then as I take it, that's actually that's become one of my favorites. But
yeah. Oh, and Fran, hello. Greetings and good morning.
Hi, Fran. Good morning. So the next one is the ANS Relax.
Yep, so ANS Relax is sort of a Western herbal combination. So it has in it B6, because B6 is important for the adrenal gland, magnesium, because magnesium is good for all things that go bump, whether it's palpitations or esophagus that's going crazy, or twitching muscles, and it soothes the mind. N-acetylcysteine helps your body make glutathione, which is a master antioxidant and detoxification. Green tea extract, which just is a potent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and L-taurine, which helps your body make calming neurotransmitters. So that's the primary function of that one. And it helps, again, from a Western perspective and the Western science, it helps soothe the mind, soothe the adrenals, and support rather than force. So we talk a lot about how medications often force you. When companies look for new drugs, they often mine databases from plants, and they often do what's called in silico research, which means that they do computer modeling, and they find the molecules that appear to dock the most tightly with biological receptors, and then they extract the plant and they find the extracts that absolutely bind the hardest. So they're called almost non-competitive inhibitors, where they just grab on and don't let go. So an example of that in nature, estrogens, or let's talk about progesterone. Progesterone kisses and releases the receptors in your body, whereas progestins, and if you look at, as an example, birth control pills, you'll notice that there's this little tiny bit. You know, the amount of progesterone that you would take would be in 10 to 100 milligrams, but the amount of progestin is in the microgram amounts because it grabs on and doesn't let go. It's like a moray eel or a barracuda or something. It grabs on and won't let go. But the natural biochemistry is this elegant dance. It's touch and let go and touch and let go. And drugs don't do that. So if you take Valium as an example, bang, it grabs on to that receptor and it won't let go. Whereas these things kiss and let go and kiss and let go. And they allow rather than force. So that's the difference. And then we have one more. Theacalm, which is primarily Ltheanine. Ltheanine is another extract of green tea. It's an amino acid. It's not an essential amino acid like many of the protein amino acids, but it's an amino acid that has been described, I like to describe it as meditation in a bottle. And it's essentially non-toxic. I mean, the toxic dose is, grams per kilogram. So it's very, very safe. And the dose is, a couple hundred milligrams. So 200 to 400 milligrams up to 3 times a day. We usually start with 200 milligrams twice a day. For most people, that's enough. Some people need to go 200 3 times a day. Some people go 400 3 times a day. But in any event, this has been called meditation in a bottle. It supports and promotes alpha waves in the brain, but it's not sedating. So you take a Valium and at first you're sedated, and then after a while your body gets used to it. Ativan or any of those, any benzo. You take it, it makes you drowsy at first, and then you don't even feel it anymore because your body's gotten used to it, because your body basically is seeing it as a toxin. Whereas this stuff, again, it's that elegant biochemical dance where you're working together, and it's not sedating. You take this stuff and you don't feel sedated or out of whack. So that was the 2 weeks ago. That was, how to get started, how to calm your system so you can start to attend to the next level of the program. And the next level of the program we talked about was this thing called an MWave, EM-WAVE. MWave is through a company called HeartMath. We sell them on our website, but you can certainly go to HeartMath and learn more about it. HeartMath is a company that is very interested in sort of creating a heart-centered world. And they're, PhDs and MDs and all kinds of crazy smart people who are figuring out how to create inexpensive, easy-to-use biofeedback devices. The reason why monks have to meditate for years and years and years, because they have to just sit there and figure it out. With a tiny device like this, which is the MWave, that little thing, it gives you feedback. So instead of trying to meditate and sitting there thinking, gosh, I wonder if I'm doing this right, and you get what I like to call the tacky shitties. The tacky shitties is not a gastrointestinal problem. It's when you're trying to do something and you start going, oh shit. Oh shit, 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 am I doing this right? Oh shit. Well, that's tacky shitties, like tachycardia, rapid heartbeat. Sorry, it's a doctor joke. But anyway, when you get into this mode of, oh my God, am I doing it right? I don't know. Well, how long have I been doing this? I got to look at my watch. What's going on? Well, you're never going to get into meditation. How do you use this device?
Well, you can use it 2 ways. You can, I could turn it on and just hold the device in my hand and put my finger right on there. And
Which is a little sensor.
Yep, it's a sensor. And then up here, there is a light, and it's red when you're
doing a video.
Yeah. And the goal is to turn it to blue and then to green. Green is when you're in those alpha waves, those healthy brain waves, the parasympathetic resting stage.
Right.
So the goal is to get it green. Now you can also hook it up to your computer. It hooks up to your computer easily. And then you can record your sessions. You can increase your intensity level. If it starts at low, you can go to moderate, high, and then very high. And it helps you just to kind of graph your progress. And there's also a journal in there, so you can write just a short bit of like, okay, this morning I was feeling anxious, but after my session I felt this way, or
whatever you want to
yeah.
write. And you know, but this can induce the same angst. So, oh my God, it's red. Oh my God, it's red. Oh my God, it's red. No, how do you really turn it green?
So the one way not to turn it green is to notice that it's red and think, I need to get this green. How am I going to get it green? How am I going to get it green? The goal is to just kind of let go of all that and relax. The goal is to relax and breathe, and that's how you turn it green, just by breathing. You breathe with there's a monitor on there that shows you exactly what to breathe, and you can speed it up a little bit or slow it down, just whatever is more comfortable for you. And the goal is just to breathe with that and to relax your thoughts or concentrate on something that is relaxing.
I like to think of it like your yoga instructor has always told you to relax into the pose, right? You're stretched to the absolute limit. Your thigh is burning because no, relax into the pose. Well, it's the same thing here. Relaxing into it and maybe even focusing on gratitude and love and contentment rather than, oh shit, I got to turn this thing green. So that was last week when we talked about that. And so that device actually can take months or years off of the timeline necessary to really master that meditation routine. So that's a beautiful, well, everything's expensive, but relatively speaking, as opposed to neurofeedback, which we do in the office, that's thousands of dollars. This is just a couple $100. So it's much more convenient.
Less than $200, but
yeah, less than $200. Much less difficult. You don't have to travel. You have it at home, all that stuff. And then today we're talking about the third level, which is the sensory, what I call the sensory soothing kit. What do you call it?
Sensory soothing kit, I think, is a great name for it. Otherwise, I call it like my grounding kit. So just something to bring me into the present moment, kind of be here now.
Yeah.
So what mine looks like is I carry it around in a little case like this. I actually put this in my purse. But this kit is so much more than the tools that are in here. It's also tools that are everywhere. So it deals with all of the five senses. So it's really just immersing yourself in those senses. Now in the kit, and you know, when is this great to do? Well, you can do it during periods of higher stress, of course, if you're feeling like you're stressed out and you need to relax, or you can do it prior to maybe something that you're anxious about. Maybe you have to give a talk at work or do a Facebook Live, because those are kind of hard for me. So
and the MWave kind of teaches you what parasympathetic feels like, which is where you want to be. And so as you get more and more expert about understanding what parasympathetic feels like, when you start to drift away from that into sympathetic, instead of when you're all the way over here at the level of panic attack, when you start to drift away, you can start thinking, oh, I need to do something, and this kit, and then you're going to talk about other or in the environment regular things that you can do too in a minute. But
yeah,
so what's
just examples. So first, I'm going to start with sight. So really, you can do that right here now, depending where you're at. But you can just look at things around you and really begin to notice your surroundings. Maybe you're lucky enough, and you can look out the window and you can see what my favorite would be trees. And it's a windy day today, which is why we're inside, but the trees are just kind of blowing in the breeze, and just really concentrating on that alone brings me into a relaxed state. But let's say we're somewhere that I don't have access to trees or something that I find relaxing, because it's really just about noticing your environments. You can really notice anything in your environment, but I also carry with a little mirror because sometimes I have to talk myself off the ledge. So if sometimes you can use those positive affirmations or speak those kind words to yourself, and they're more effective if you can actually speak them to yourself.
Right, so just looking at yourself in the mirror,
Yep.
seeing that you're actually here and present. Yeah.
So then next would be sound, which actually I don't obviously have anything in my kit that is sound related.
But you have your phone.
Yep, I have my phone. So for me, music is relaxing. Otherwise, it's just noticing the surrounding sounds that are around me. So
Like the wind blowing through the trees.
the wind blowing through the trees, or maybe it's if I'm quiet here for a moment, I can hear the humming of the light or the ceiling fan that is rotating, or perhaps my own breath. But just really immersing myself in those sounds that are relaxing, because sometimes the sounds around us aren't relaxing. So, you have to incorporate ways to bring the relaxation in, which we do carry cell phones usually. So if you can, I try not to grab out my cell phone when I'm really working on this, just because it's so easy to see that message I didn't see before and then get lost in that for me. But otherwise, music's a great thing too. And then next is taste. So I carry with me some peppermints that,
I have one of those.
Yeah, since you're not talking right now, it really sounds good, doesn't it? Peppermint is very, very soothing, I think. Otherwise, I also like to, in the morning when I wake up, one of the first things I do most mornings is before anybody's up, I go and I make my cup of coffee. And then I sit with that cup of coffee, and with that comes smell. I love the smell, the feeling of the warm cup, and then the taste of the coffee, which I know some people don't like coffee, so the thought of...
Yeah, but I do the same thing with tea.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do it with any beverage, but again, that just immerses you in that sense of taste.
Taste and smell and feel. So there's 3.
Yep, right, all with just a cup of coffee. So really, I like this kit. I keep it in my purse, but these,
So what if you did that with bourbon?
Oh, you could do that. I probably do that with my wine sometimes. Like
Sure.
if I pour it, you swirl it, you smell it, you taste it.
The fancy glass, so you get to look at that. That's a sight thing. You feel it, you're holding it, smelling it, tasting it. So, there's many opportunities throughout the day to just naturally immerse yourself and ground yourself. Another one about feel that I really like is gravity. Gravity is ever present, but we ignore it. But sometimes being present can really be feeling the gravity, feeling the weight of your body on your backside, feeling your bottom of your feet.
Yep, I can, once you brought that into my awareness, I immediately felt the soles of my feet resting on the ground. So, so in my kit, I keep an essential oil. It's rose. This one's actually almost empty, but for me, it just smells so wonderful.
Does smell wonderful.
But again, it's, smelling maybe you want to go and bake a batch of cookies because that smells wonderful too. So, or cook a great meal.
I want to say that we're a couple before I do this, but this is a really good way to immerse yourself in a smell too.
You often say I smell good when I'm not quite sure what you're smelling, because there's no way I can smell good at that point in time, but apparently
There you go.
I emit something. So yeah, essential oils are great. Or
I mentioned that we're a couple because don't do that if you're not a couple. It's probably inappropriate.
Yeah, you might get in trouble just depending on the friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, or it comes along with baking or...
Yeah. So there's a million things that you can immerse yourself in and keep yourself in the present moment and not, again, if this is parasympathetic, drifting away from parasympathetic, way over here into panic attack, just as you start to separate from parasympathetic, suddenly, you can pick up that cup of coffee and hold it in your hands and put your nose down in it and just smell it, maybe even close your eyes and just be totally present with the coffee and take a drink. Or you can just, if you're at the office and it would be inappropriate to do that, well, maybe you can just for a moment feel yourself settling in to your chair. Or, you know, you can just for a moment look out the window and notice the waving trees and the breeze. So there's a lot of things just in your environment, but then you can also have this kit with you so that you're just double covered, right?
Yeah, because sometimes your environment is actually not a peaceful place.
Right.
So it's nice to have extra things that you can bring into it. Or I like to do it intermittently throughout the day. Like I like to have essential oils just because they're relaxing to me. I like to listen to relaxing music. Not necessarily because I feel stressed
I'm
out,
gonna grab some.
but because I want to continue to bring in that calmness into my environment. Oh, our sprays, yes.
Our good friend, Hemla, and let's see, 7-ray solstice.
7raysholisticCenter.com.
I can't even read. 7raysholisticCenter.com.
She makes these wonderful chakra sprays.
I can't really get the lighting right, but they're chakra sprays. And you literally just do this. You take this thing and you just spray it sort of into the air. And it just surrounds you with this. I don't know if you can see it, but we can see a mist. And it just like goes, oh.
And it's a little bit cool. It just feels wonderful. I have them all over the house. Like,
yeah, she makes a bunch of these. So 7raysholisticCenter.com. You should really, in fact, I'm going to give you the phone number. 650, this is probably your personal cell phone. So,
I don't think so. Tell her about it.
650-798-4168. We love these things.
We do.
We
They're
love
really...
Hemla. So that's just another thing, you know, that you can do that just helps, you know, create and set the mood, create the environment, because our environment is really under our control on many levels. Some of it isn't, but a lot of it is.
Or the way we perceive it is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last would be touch. And in my kit, I have a couple rocks. On them, I have words. I got these at a retreat, 2 separate retreats, but they were the same retreat. It was so good I had to go to it twice.
There you go.
So to me, these carry with them wonderful, comforting, peaceful, life-changing memories. And they feel great. They feel like nice and smooth under my skin. So I keep these in my kit, but it's really about, you know, anything you want to do with your hands, whether maybe it's touching to create something, maybe you're painting or you're drawing or you're doing a project, maybe it's petting your dog or your cat, you know, that can be very soothing, or maybe it's just, you know, caressing your partner or somebody, you know, your child that's next to you. That
I'm the child.
He's both. So, you know, I think that all of those things can really just bring you a sense of peace.
There's something else about these stones, and it's the 6th sense. So from the point of view of the limbic system, there are really 6 senses. They're the 5 senses that are the physical senses, but the limbic system can't tell the difference between a current event, I'm actually being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, a remembered event, I'm remembering that I was chased by a saber-toothed tiger, or an imagined event. I feel like I'm imagining that this is what it would feel like to be chased by a saber-toothed tiger. So we call this the 6th sense from the point of view of this limbic system. So these stones carry with them tremendous positive memories. And so that's another reason for having these stones. They're a tactile thing. She can read the word, she can feel the stone, but then the word means something. It was put there in a special context, a sort of a life ritual context, and she met people that were really important to her during that time, and there's the memory of the entire experience of being there. So, you know, if you can find some kind of relic, some kind of artifact from a really important moment in your life that was just affirming and beautiful and so on, it's that 6th sense that we're really treating with that stone or with that object of whatever kind. So that's the 5th and 6th sense, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, it's really about, you know, redirecting, rewiring, relearning, because we get stuck in these pathways. You know, mine go all the way back to traumatic events that happened in my childhood, which really led me to being in the fight or flight, into chronic illness and so forth. So, you know, our bodies automatically, it's even just a thought that can, you know, it doesn't have to be a loud door or something significant that happens. Maybe it's just a thought, or it's something that triggers not even a thought of the event, but just the past feeling, and then that can leave you spiraling. So it's really, this kit is to redirect, rewire, relearn, and not just this kit, but immersing yourself.
Being aware of your environment and immersing
yourself.
It's all
about
in the
grounding
here and,
and being here now, because you are no longer there. You are no longer in your past repeating. It's not repeating itself. This is new. So you can create new from here and now.
Yep. So what are these pieces of paper about?
This was just the sensory. Yep.
How about that one?
That was stuff before. We've covered everything. This is all of our supplements
We
from
didn't,
before.
we didn't cover that piece of paper.
Yep. I did in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I guess I was missing it somehow.
No, we were engaged in conversation, but I feel like
all right. So that's the sensory kit. So again, this is the third step. So first step was supplements just to help soothe things. Second step is that biofeedback device to really teach you how to get into parasympathetic without years of practice. The third is the sensory soothing. The next is sort of the 5 modifiable lifestyle factors, and I feel like we've really covered that. I think maybe we'll put a link to our 5 modifiable lifestyle factors handout and a link to some of our, I think we have a whole series of YouTube videos on the 5 modifiable lifestyle factors. The next one, and part of that is our morning ritual, but I think we'll hit the morning ritual again next week, huh? Because I think that's a really important piece. Once you really get into this meditative state and start to really feel grounded and centered and heart-centered and get what the heart math people call coherence, then that's when you really get a powerful boost from sort of a gratitude ritual, and we'll go through what that is next week. And then the following weeks will really be about our take and modification of something called Mondo Zen, which is sort of a non-religious application of Zen in the West. And there are 13, however many that is.
Well, you know, that was very clever, because 1 + 3 does equal 4. So you were just simplifying the number 13.
There you go. One plus 3
is 4.
Okay.
Your mind just automatically simplified the number. I think that's great.
Yes, okay. And only you would
only I would notice that, I know.
I know. But anyway, so there's 13 in traditional Zen. They're called koans. These are the things that you hear about in popular culture. What's the sound of one hand slapping? Well, these are clapping. These are not the koans, the 13 koans, but they're very, very Western practical koans to help you get deeper insights and understand at a very deep level who you are, and it helps you create place and purpose and meaning in your life. And that is the real, being in coherence will unleash your healing potential, but getting to a place of purpose and meaning and place and in your culture and having deep purpose, that really unleashes a tremendous wave of healing energy.
Yeah. Let go of perfection and really just cling to purpose.
Yep.
I think is.
Yeah. Progress and purpose and meaning over perfection, because perfection is an illusion.
Yeah, perfection is not only an illusion, but what is perfect? I mean, everybody has their own meaning of perfect anyway. So.
Yep, that's very true. So that's next week. We're going to talk about the morning ritual, and then after that we'll get into the Mondo Zen, or what we call insight training after that. So next Thursday, you know what? I apologize. I've been posting so much stuff on Facebook. I forgot to
post about
this. I should have done that last night as a reminder, but I'll try to remember. but we're both quite busy trying to create this new venture and touch as many lives as possible. So we will see you next week, Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Time, and we'll be talking about morning ritual. All right, we'll see you then.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.